Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Chaotic Compass Podcast. Going to do a intro for this episode today because it's part 2 of date nights. So if you haven't listened to part 1, definitely go back and listen to that first. It kind of gives an intro into why date nights are important, and some of our favorites and what was our first date night. And then so this week we are going into date nights on a budget and knowing your love language and why and how that's important to planning date nights. So here we go. Thanks, guys. Hi, I'm Stefanie Wainwright. I'm a wife, a mom, a business owner, and my life is chaotic all the time. So I created this podcast to help you find the funny, the good, while navigating through the chaos. This is Chaotic Compass Podcast. All right, we're going to get into the segment of new date ideas. Okay, right. Talking about, so this can be whether you have a family or whether you don't. Talking about date nights on a budget. Okay?
Yeah.
Top one. Like, date nights on a budget for me is looking like, for me, because, and you got to know your love language, right? And that speaks important. A lot too.
Really
so
does.
And
yeah.
If you don't, like, briefly, okay, there's 5. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I am communication, like words of affirmation, which is communication, and time, is quality time.
Quality time, yeah.
And then Ryan is physical touch and acts of service, and then there's gifts. So there's typically 5.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, the quality time kind of speaks up. If you're putting in the effort to try to spend time with me, that's a thing. And so when everybody's like Netflix and chill, I don't see it as like everybody else sees it. I'm like, oh my God, that sounds like, okay, like because we've gotten into Rotten,
mm-hmm.
we've gotten
mm-hmm.
into like, oh my gosh, that sounds like really cool. Like, but like, let's pause that. Let's talk about it. Like,
right.
Like we're not just engrossed in it. Like, we're going to pause it. We're going to talk about it, or we're going to talk about it afterwards. We're going to have a conversation about it. It's not just
right. And so I think
you're
getting
watching the TV.
I think you're getting to the point of, okay, you also, not only do you have to figure out what your love language is, what your significant other's love language is, but then you also have to figure out what counts that. And so that was something that we didn't have figured out at first, for sure, because I always thought, well, I mean, if we're in the same place doing the same thing,
doing the same thing,
watching the same thing, talking about the same thing, sometimes, that's quality.
But see,
time,
so
right?
I think I'm incorporating, because it's okay. So we're doing the same thing,
mm-hmm.
but then we're going to talk about it.
Right.
And so for me, I'm incorporating both love languages into the same sentiment. And so it's like,
yeah, I mean, so it's different. It's different for everybody, because I always thought
really
that a date night involved, dinner and a movie. That's
always,
that's old school, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
so
I always thought dinner and a movie.
We've never actually
gone.
We've been together for 7 years, so we've never actually been to a movie.
To the movies, no. We've never done that.
I literally just realized that.
I did not just realize that. That's something I've kind of wondered about, because it's like that was what I thought a date was growing up. Like, it was dinner and a movie.
So history. So my first husband, that's literally like when we were dating, that's what we did. We would go to dinner and we would go to a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Every single movie in 2005, I saw. I saw that. I saw those movies. I saw those movies in the theater. I paid the money. I bought the popcorn. I paid my dues. Like,
now she doesn't eat popcorn, and we've never been to the movies.
I don't go to the movies. I'd rather watch it.
So you're saying he ruined that for me? Is that what you're saying?
Take it up with him. Like, it's fine.
I can't.
So,
he's a cool guy. I gotta talk to him.
So date night on a budget. What would you say would be date night on a budget?
I mean, date night on a budget, because, I always liked cooking. I always liked making a special meal, putting in the work, but acts of service,
You're that
putting
guy
in
though. You
that
can cook.
effort. Yeah, well, yeah, that too. But it doesn't necessarily have to be about that. It could be about getting the right takeout if you don't cook. But it could also just be about being in the right place. Not necessarily even having to pay to be there.
Right.
Like see the whole people out on what are those things in Venice where they push the boat?
Oh, like a
and
gondola?
Yeah, gondola. Yeah, having wine and
was like
cheese on a gondola or
charades
something
for
like
like
that. Right. Yeah, but you got it. You got it. She
I
knows
win.
me. It's
I
pretty cool.
win.
But so we're not talking like super duper spending all kinds of money to
We don't
get
need
in the right
gondolas.
place. No.
Yeah, it's
But
romantic, but we
one
don't
of the
need
cool date nights that we did was, we went out to dinner, but it wouldn't necessarily have involved that. But then it was like the dead of winter. It was super freaking cold.
that. Like today.
And it was cold. But we went down to just the river in a random stretch of road by the river, and we played I played some seashore
Oh yeah.
thing.
I
Like it
was
was
wondering-
waves and birds, and like we were sitting on a beach, and that was the whole concept. It was we were gonna go to the beach in like January, and so
I
we
was
went to
trying to
dinner,
figure out where
and
you
then I
were
took her
going
to the
with
beach.
that. I forgot.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
I
so
apologize.
that was when I think a dinner on or a date night on a budget. It like I say, you kind of have to use a little bit of imagination, and we went to dinner, and then we went to the beach.
You know when like
in January
interviewers
at
like
night.
give the questions to their interviewees and they kind of have that conversation beforehand, so there's not like any like caught off guard. I should have I had no idea.
She knew better
My
than that.
instant,
She knew better than
you're
that.
like, we went down by the river, and I was like, in a van.
Right, yeah. In a
We lived
van.
there.
We lived by the river in the van. So, she should have known, but she tried. She tried to get prepared for this.
It was
And
bad. So
I
Okay.
don't know. I do that.
But
do
I
okay
know,
with
you
that,
went-
but
you-
there's
it's
always
fine. You were-
something
it
I've
was
got to
fine.
like.
I caught on
remember
after
and-
the fact, but so
All right.
all right, you think? Okay, so I mean that was good. So we had the heat cranking
Yep. Oh yeah.
in the car. The sound effect, we like laid back the seats, and it was like close your eyes and like think like okay, like
I didn't try and like throw some sand into a little fan or something like that,
no, it
simulate the
wasn't.
real deal.
or like
'cause
you
we
know
hate
some like
sand, love the
Himalayan
beach.
salt, like
Right, yeah.
no,
Love
it
the
was,
beach, hate the sand.
Right, yeah, no, it wasn't. It was literally just crank the heat as high as you can go
Yeah.
and just sit.
Play the sound effects. And
Right. I mean,
It was cool.
It
I
was,
mean, we didn't
it was
really
cool.
even. We didn't talk. That wasn't the point.
No,
it
yeah,
doesn't
it
have
wasn't-
to
it
always
was
be about
just,
conversation, but
It was. We both needed a hot minute to like
just not.
just not, and like we
Yeah.
both knew that, and it wasn't even anything, and so it was cool. It was.
It worked out.
It was definitely different. So you don't have to have money to make a date night happen. I know we talk about like all the
Right.
things, but and that was something that it was like, I just want to spend time with you. I just want to spend time with you. And he's like, okay. And so this is what we came up with. And it was like, it was one of those.
Yeah.
It took
I mean,
me to remember it, but
So it comes down to learning the other person's love language and then figuring out a way to show them that, in that. So I mean, so say it's their love language is gift giving.
Ooh.
Neither one of us do that.
No.
And that's
And
going to
we're not dogging
require
that, and it's just
no, not at all. But I think that's something where it's like, all right, well, how do I do gift giving on a budget if you literally have to buy something to give them? And so
not necessarily.
that's
So I think that you're thinking like, so gift giving, like, it's something that you could have found and like
Sure.
you thought of them, or like, and I can't speak to that language, but it's something I think that not necessarily you purchase. It's a thing that you
Right.
thought of them and you give that to them.
right. I mean, I think so. So something like that. Whenever I think of date night with a gift giver person, the first thing that comes to mind, of course, is like Build-A-Bear. But
That's an expensive ass
right.
thing.
So yeah. So I'm not
You can't just
advocating
get the
for
bear. Because you
No.
got to get the accessories, like the shoes and the shirt and the hat, like, and
Right,
the
but
and the cute little backpacks for bears, and then you can get a matching backpack.
yeah, we've never done that.
No, because those
I
things are
would,
cute, and I
yeah.
would feel guilty as fuck for spending that much money.
Right, yeah. She walks out of there with a $500 bear. I have to have all the things. So,
But it's so cute.
yeah, it would be the cutest bear you've ever seen. I promise.
I've only done that with Kylie one time, and I regretted it.
Oh, yeah.
Because she went
I
in
can only
there and
imagine.
she got a My Little Pony bullshit.
Well,
with
it's
the
Kylie is
accessory.
Stefanie 2.0. So, what we just described, that would be Kylie and, her 8-year-old self. And so it would be even worse. Yeah, exactly. I can see that. It's like this My Little Pony that needs like a trailer behind it to carry all its
Yeah.
accessories.
Pull your own trailer.
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You hook the My Little Pony up to the My Little Pony accessory wagon, and then you go on down the yellow brick rainbow road of this situation.
Stop. You're going.
yeah,
Stop. You don't even know My Little Pony. You have no idea.
I do.
There is not the yellow My Little Pony brick road. There's no rainbow road. Like
That was a
stop.
special episode. You missed it, so because you weren't a super fan.
Okay.
But anyway,
There's a point.
I think that when it comes to a gift giving on a budget, it's a matter of being able to make it, of being able to lock in with what they like, what they love, what they appreciate as far as a gift goes. And so, I mean, a painting I think would be amazing, even poetry. And that might be something too, like if
Incorporate like your words.
yeah, folks that are artistically gifted, whether it be not me in drawing or painting or anything like that, or me with words, because I struggle with that too. But I think
can get
it's a matter of figuring out what they enjoy, what they like, and then
Right.
being able to make that, create that for them, and I think that would be super special.
Right.
As far as the other love languages and different ideas, one of the more memorable for me, for us, we had a lot of things going on and things were stressful. I remember that part, and I remember just being angry, or you being angry in particular about the situation that was going on, and there was a lot of things to be angry about at the time, but I was just like, all right, I got an idea. And you were like, probably said, oh shit, and I'm like, let's go to a rage room. And you're like, that sounds like a horrible idea. I'm like, no, really, it's
was.
you got to trust me. All right, this is a good idea, right?
Yeah.
So we did that. So I got off work just a little bit early because the place where we were going was 45 minutes away. It was a ways.
It was a hot minute. Yeah.
And then we're like riding around trying to find it, and we pull up, and they're like, "Yeah, I think that's it." And she goes, "Yeah, I don't know about this
It
place.
was sketch.
This
It
looks-
was
what?" And but I was like, "Come on, we're here now, man. We did dinner,
It literally looked
over
like
there, and
a thrift shop, right? I mean, nothing against thrift shop, but it would literally look like on the corner of a strip mall, and you walk in like a small tiny and like you walk in and there's nothing but like old TVs, like lamps, like random
pottery,
pottery.
like China.
It was literally like you walked into like a not so great Goodwill.
Sure, or
and
just a thrift shop, like you said.
It was like, what the hell is going on here? You know? And you're like, this is, I've already paid. Like, we're doing this.
Yeah,
like,
we're locked into it.
We're
Man, let's
locked
do it.
in. Like, we're going for it.
The whole premise of the thing was all that stuff was in there, so you could just like
beat
add it to your list,
out of it.
and then you go in there with baseball bats and a sledgehammer, and you just smash the shit out of it. I mean, like,
honestly, like,
it was
like, even though that place was sketch, it was one of the most points in time where it's like, I wasn't a mom, I wasn't a wife. I was just smashing some shit that wasn't mine.
Right. Yeah.
Like I was taking it out on like things that weren't me and mine, and I don't even know who I
Yeah.
became, but like there's video and evidence.
Right.
It's
It
like,
was cool. I mean, eye protection, of course, because
Yeah.
stuff was flying everywhere.
Yeah, they
and-
give you like gloves, eye
Yeah.
protection, and like they give you a sledgehammer and a baseball bat, and like they give you kind of like rules. Like once, like you both can use the baseball bat at the same time, but if one person is using the sledgehammer, the other person has to stand back, and it's
Right,
like, oh
right,
shit,
yeah.
okay, all right, okay, so like noted.
But
There's like a
that was something different.
toaster oven that we like beat the shit out of, but
Right.
yeah, like that was definitely something different. And I mean, for the cost, I mean, if you're doing
it
that,
wasn't super cheap.
yeah,
it
it
was not.
was
It
up
was not
there,
super cheap.
like once a month, like definitely. But like like if you could budget for that, that definitely like took a lot of like, okay, this is what we're looking forward to, and we're doing this, and put all of our energy into this moment, and like it was, we got in the car and it was like, what the fuck, like.
Yeah, because it was an hour. I mean, it was an hour.
It was like
deal,
of just
and we gotta.
smashing
Yeah.
shit. It was like exhilarating. Like I don't know. If you haven't done it, you should just and you can, and like to split the cost, you can like get a group of people, and you can
You could.
to make it more affordable to find other people. So it's not.
So I mean, is
I've
double
definitely-
date or group dates considered a date night? Is that something?
Well, I mean, I don't think that should be a regular. I think that the individualized time alone, but to break up the monotony and to be able to make it more affordable, if it's something that you could cut the cost,
Sure.
definitely. But for me, there has to be at least one night to be like, okay, this is mine. I claim, like, I'm gonna stick my flag in this night, and it's mine. I'm sorry, but like no other person can encroach on this night.
But I think that's something that we've done that I would definitely advise people to couples to do. It's like, all right, it is important. It's definitely important, and y'all need to decide how important it is as far as the frequency, and come to an agreement. And that way
It's like
you have
from the start,
right. You have mutual expectations.
Yeah. And that's kind of where the contract came into play.
Right.
It's like,
and then
as
who pays
expectations.
for what as far as what the budget is, because it's not like you can do date night in New York City if you live in Georgia. It's just for example, and then how frequent and what are your options, and how do you avoid the redundancy, and if you can get that kind of laid out, well then, all right, plan it out.
Right.
Figure it out. What do
And
you like
that's-
to do? What does he like to do? Or however that works out, and actually put it on a calendar, and that way
That's what we
you can kind of do the planning ahead of time, not necessarily
pencil.
down to the whatever, pencil it in. But
So I mean, there still needs to be a level of like spontaneity, but not really. But I mean, it's for me, and so there's different type of people, and so for me, a little bit of a planning to kind of know, like,
Right.
So it's like, can I wear a sweatshirt and not have my hair done? Is that or are we going to Second Street where they have real napkins? I kind of need to have a little bit more makeup on and my hair done a little bit better than what we did for sushi tonight. It's just a level of expectancy of where we're going, kind of thing.
right, I think that's part of it. Because at that point, I mean, some people thrive on surprises and spontaneity, and other
Facts.
people do
True.
not.
And so knowing
So yeah.
you really have to know, and that's a big part of figuring each other out, and that's going to take a hot minute, but you've got to ask those questions. So, but my question for you is like, what would be something out of the box? What would be, I mean, obviously like demolition day was definitely, but what would be something out of the box
again, and that depends on
No. Like
the
I'm talking
couple.
like
For us,
yeah,
I think out of the
you and
box,
me.
one of the things that was out of the box for me in particular was when we did paint night. Going because I am not an artist.
Ryan is not
I
artistic, and I
struggle
love him for trying. Like that was so
with that.
that was amazing. So,
Yeah.
but it was really cool.
No, and it was fun for me because I'm not artistic, and I wanted to try. I wanted it to kind of look good, and of course,
We did it a couple of times
yeah, we did
actually.
that a couple times. But for me, it took the focus to try and color in the lines, for lack of a better
Ooh,
term,
yeah.
and try and follow the directions and kind of make what they had envisioned for this painting
It's
to
not
be.
what they envisioned. It's like
Well,
taking their
they start with a
guidelines
framework.
and
Yeah, the guidelines.
taking their
whatever.
guidelines and making it you.
Right. But because I'm artistically challenged
yeah,
in
you
that
just
aspect,
don't.
it took a lot of focus.
Yeah.
And so I was focused on
The
what I was
painting
doing.
and
And so
not-
afterwards,
It was like
all of
You
the
didn't-
things that were on my mind or that I had
You were-
been bogged down by, it was like, man, I haven't thought about work
yeah,
or anything else for
you're
like the past
literally
hour. 'Cause
right
I'm trying
here.
to, yeah. I've
It's
been
like
trying to make this chick's hair the right color with, 3 different colors. Like, how do you, what?
but it was
yeah.
one of those. It was like you don't think about anything.
No,
so
you
it
weren't.
was-
You're focused on the painting, and so I
yeah,
mean
that was out of the box
that-
for him.
right, and that might not be necessarily be the best date night advice versus personal, just you time trying to do something different and focus on something other than what your day to
No,
day
I mean,
is.
so I mean, it's just trying. It's for trying something different that's outside of the
Yeah.
box that challenges not only you but challenges you collectively as a couple.
Something for me that I thought was interesting for date night in particular, especially if is different restaurants, new restaurants. You challenged me for the longest time. I want to do something new. I want to do
Yeah.
something different. I want to go somewhere new. It might not be the new food, but I think that's a part of it, an aspect of it, and that was something that we've done that I always thought was really super cool because I have an adventurous side to me, especially in the food realm, where I like trying things new. And so, I mean, if that's your thing, if that's part of it, that can be the spark. Can keep that spark. Can
trying
add
different
something
foods.
to it. Yeah.
And for me, like that's been a big thing for our relationship because I was very, I mean, I wouldn't say like super under a shell, but like, I wasn't like 2-year-old.
When I first met her, she ate like a 4-year-old. Not necessarily a 2-year-old, but more like a 4-year-old.
I was up there, and so he's brought me out of the shell. And so I'll try
expanded
it.
her palate.
There are a lot of things I'll try.
Yes.
And I'll let him know, hey, this is not what I like because I've tried it. I tried it in front of him.
Absolutely.
I've tried it, and so like I'll actually, and that's kind of what we kind of encourage our kids. Like, okay, like, hey, just try it.
It's okay not to like it.
Like we're not gonna force you eat it. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
Like but I don't want you to sit there and be dramatic about how like you tried something and like oh my god, like you tried it, you spit it out, it's cool.
Yeah.
You do you. Okay, we've got a couple dramatic kids that are like that, and so like it's fine. But Liam, homie, which of all the kids, he's the one with the most allergies.
Right.
I figured he was going to be like, okay, I'm just going to be a steak and potatoes kind of kid. He's the kid that's like,
he wants to try it.
I'm gonna.
He's the
I'll try
adventurous
anything
eater
once.
of anything.
Oh,
him
I'll
and
eat it.
Isla are very adventurous when it comes to that, and
they'll like,
yeah,
they'll eat it. Like,
she'll eat it.
Speaking of try, what is something that you would try? What is something that you're looking to try for a date night? That's something new that you might be. I mean, I'm not going to hold you to it. Be like, so in this episode, you said you haven't done it and it's been 6 months. No, like, it's not like that. But, just something that you might want to try different.
I think because it's an option and because we haven't done it, there was a couple of things that I brought up. Is just roller skating was one of them.
Oh no.
Ice skating was another, which I've
Right.
never done, and so
Oh
that
God.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
I really want to do that. I mean, I'm not sure either one of those is a great idea for people in their 40s, but
Liam was like hell bent on going ice skating the other
Yeah.
last month, and like I didn't, and like homie was devastated. So I think that might need to be a thing that we all do.
We've done some. We've had some one of the outside of the box things that we've done, or a couple of outside of the box things we've done was trivia night and escape room. I mean, we've really enjoyed both of those.
And then we kind of integrated
yeah.
with the kids like escape rooms and so. But yeah, escape rooms are interesting. Homie is stubborn.
Me,
But all right. So wrapping up. All right, date nights are why we drink. This is why we drink. So
we drink on date nights too.
We drink on date nights. And so today we've got two different things. So you go ahead and start with yours,
Right.
and then I'll bring out mine. But you have to pop the top in the microphone just for so talk about it and show it into the camera so I can take a picture of it later. So
Okay. So this is a local brew. I don't know why I got into brown ales, but I guess I did. Legend Brown is one of my favorites there in Richmond, and that's really common around here in this area. But this was something that piqued my interest. I found it at Early Birds, and these guys recommended it, and it was out of Suffolk. And our Nansman Brewing Company is the name is the brand of this. The guys that came up with this idea. It's called Peanut Butter Brown, and they did something really creative because Suffolk is one of the peanut capitals of the country. They decided to get together with them and like, hey, let's figure out how to make a peanut flavored beer, and I think they partnered up with a local honey producer, and that's where they put everything together and made this peanut butter brown ale.
So it is hold on, like
Yep.
we give a little, it's 7.2% and it is a 16-ounce can. We're gonna take
Right.
a second, show the can.
That's that.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
And
So into the mic.
there's that, and it didn't go everywhere.
Nope,
'cause
it didn't
hasn't
explode.
frozen, so that's
All
awesome.
right, so
And it's a neat flavor because you right away you get the honey right away, but then there's also like hubs. There's a peanut butter flavor there too. It's a darker color. There's definitely an ale flavor to it, and I really like it. It's different. It's something very different, but very good. It's not way hoppy because I don't like those. It's not IPA because I don't really like those.
yeah.
But it's a really mellow kind of from beginning to end, because some of them finish like whoa, and then they start out great and they end up not so great. But this one is beginning to end is really mellow, really easy to drink. Obviously, you got to be careful with 7.2 when it comes
it's
to
a
a
tall
beer
boy,
because
too,
it's that's twice as much as like a Bud Light, literally. But no, I really this was a cool find. I really have enjoyed it. I want to go to the brewery.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to check out the brewery. Wow.
Yeah,
Brewery?
that place.
Yeah. So for mine, so we're doing a little two special this evening. So I'm doing another Slide Clydes. They have and I think it's so fitting for right now because of all the sickness and illnesses that are going around.
Yeah,
so
flu and
I know
COVID
and
still around.
Yeah. So anyways, we're not going to get into that. So that's a whole nother episode. But today I'm going to do Slide Clyde's vitamin C. It's literally vitamin C. Vitamin C. It's a mimosa. Oh, wow. It's a mimosa style hard cider. I'm here for it. Like, Slide Clyde is one of our
It really is.
hard ciders, and I cannot speak enough awesomeness about those people and what they've come up with. And so We are
Yeah,
gonna.
a lot
Can you
of
hold this for
hard
me?
ciders, they use a champagne yeast, and it finishes that way every time. It doesn't matter what kind of flavor it is, but Sly Clyde does something different.
It's a little different. So here we go.
Yep.
Oh wait, I forgot to. Oh, there you go. Like in the can, I forgot to. It is a. Hold on.
So in there somewhere, it's under your thumb.
Where's the alcohol content? I don't even know. It's
6.7.
6 point.
Partly cloudy with a chance of Sunday brunch. That's the description. Like, these guys are awesome. They're just brilliant when it comes to the
Partly
flavors.
cloudy.
How they balance everything
Like,
is
it's
just
not
awesome,
Sunday.
man. They
It's
do good.
Tuesday, but like.
I like it.
So it's their base. They're submersive with orange juice.
Which is staying true to the roots, man.
Which
Like, it's apple.
is-
Like, it's a cider.
And so they're trying to promote everybody trying to get some vitamin C in their life in the off season, which even brings more C's, the off season. And like they keep playing that up on their. So I appreciate their marketing efforts for this. And so it's literally adding orange juice in, but still keeping 6.7%, which is pretty much their norm.
Yeah.
To their norm, their submersive, which is their base, and so I'm here for it. Like, and it's cute. It's a cute little can. It's a white can with oranges, and it's really nice. So,
Yeah.
I'm all about the marketing all around. So, but with all of that being said, we've almost talked for an hour, and we're gonna wrap it up. And
Yeah, I have nothing to do with the editing part.
no,
I
that's
just
all
sit
me.
here and rub my mouth.
And he just sits here and talks, and he's that guy. So, but it doesn't have to be pretty. Date nights don't have to be pretty. They just have to be talk with your other human that you are going on a date night with. Talk with them, and you have to be able to figure out what their love languages are, because that's going to speak volume. Like, and we can't figure out your love language. That's something you're going to have to, there's a bajillion websites out there. And so, but besides those two things, it doesn't have to be expensive.
No, but I mean, I think the bottom line there, as far as the love languages goes, I think if you figure that out, a lot of things will make sense. Not only for as a person, and you figuring out what you're looking for in a significant other, but then also, how to keep the romance going, how to keep it neat and special. And maybe we're an example maybe of how 4 different love languages can make it work.
Can make it. So it's
may or may not have been a lot easier if we both shared them. I don't know.
I swear, that's something that I say all the time.
Yeah, I know.
But that's a whole nother. We can get like, if you want to hear about love languages and you want to hear more about like the intel between like different like humans of that, like let me know. Like we will definitely do another episode on that. But this is just date nights, but love language does have to play into that, because you can't have a date night without love. Like, I mean, not necessarily you can have a date night, but like, what's the purpose of your date night?
And don't be afraid to Google it.
True.
Hey, if you're looking for an idea,
like
that's what I did.
I'm telling you, everything.
Right, and a lot of the sites, you'll find a bunch of different sites, and a lot of them say the same thing.
It's the same.
But if you read through all 50 of them, you might come up with a couple different ones. You might be able to twist it to fit what you've got going on in your area, your town.
Right.
And
there's no shame.
Go for it. Yeah.
We've done it. Like, there's no, and honestly, anything that you're trying to learn, I swear to God, somebody's written about it on the internet.
Yeah.
And it's there for free. Why not utilize a free resource? You can get it at the public library. You don't have to actually have the internet in your house. It's there. So.
And the important thing is to have fun.
Right.
Make it fun. I mean, if you want to, and make it you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys make a a couple's mural using finger paint and your toes instead of your fingers, like, let that freak flag fly. You know, that'll be your special.
Like, if you could totally tag me in that, I'm
That'd be
totally
super cool.
fucking here for that. Like, yes, do
New date
you?
night idea.
Like,
There you go.
whatever floats your boat, literally or figuratively, we're here for it. So, with all of that said, thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.
Hey, guys.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate all of your love and support. If you really loved today's episode, you should subscribe. And if you subscribe, then you get notifications of when my next episode launches. So another way to be super awesome would be to leave a rating and review or recommend it to your friends and family. If you're wicked awesome, you've already done all three. Another way to keep up with me and my crazy family is check out my website at chaoticcompass.com, and I do blog and other stuff there. So I appreciate everything for you guys. I do this for you, so keep it up, because the more you subscribe, the more I do.